So hey guys, um, I decided to during this whole COVID thing um, that I would do some herping type memes. A lot of my friends have been seeing a lot of reptiles and amphibians this season, especially snakes. So I decided, why not try to catch some? So in I think last summer, I tried to set out snake traps to try to catch some here on the lake, but it was unsuccessful. I tried a couple different methods, and none of them worked. But I think that was mostly because I did it during late summer, um, whereas here we're doing it more late spring, mid to late spring. So I'm a little bit late to I'm a little bit late to catching them because it seems like the high point of the season was like a week or two ago. That was when the most sightings were for us, but I'm not really entirely sure. So yeah, what I decided to do last year and what I did again this year was the minnow trap method, where you use some of some minnow traps to catch snakes, because they have this sort of a funnel design, and they'll come in here, but they won't be able to get back out because of the angle of the spikes here, and because ideally once they eat the bait, they will expand to hold that in their stomach, and that'll make it even more difficult for them to get out. So that's the idea behind these traps. Officially, these are minnow traps, but they work very well as snake traps, and they're not hard to set up, they're not hard to use, they're completely harmless. So yeah, all that is good. What I did last season was I used eggs. Now, eggs are better. It seems like they're better for land snakes, and you're really gonna want fresh eggs that have been recently laid. So not like supermarket eggs, because those have been treated. You want eggs that have not been sitting for that long, that really haven't been affected by anything much, that still have the main reason is you want the scent of the mother on the egg still. You want it to still smell like a wild egg, a wild bird egg, because that's what a lot of these snakes will find very nutritious. But I used that method, but it didn't really work, primarily because I assume because I was using it to catch water snakes. And I think while it does work, it seems like for water snakes, I'm assuming that the water just sort of carried away a lot of the good scents, and it just wasn't effective. And then after a while, I ran out of farm fresh eggs, and I had to go back to grocery store eggs, and those did not work at all. So I think it was a combination of late season and bad bait. But this time, I decided to go for a different baiting method. So what I've done is you take your trap, and you just put like a good scoop of dog food, just your normal, not soft dog food, but just like the kibble. Just take a good scoop of that, put it in there, and then these just you just take two halves and you just sort of clip them together. There are official ways to do it. I think mine might have been assembled wrong. I'm not entirely sure, but you just sort of you clip these two ends in here, like so. You've got a trap. This top bit, I think you're supposed to be able to use this silver piece to seal it up, but I just used the twisty tie that was included in the packaging because I'm a plebeian, and despite being a Boy Scout, I can't tie knots, so I just sort of put a piece of twine on it, and I would just like wrap it around rocks, use gravity to my advantage and hold it down. But that's the method I use. So I just put dog food in there, and supposedly the dog food is supposed to attract minnows and crawfish, which it makes sense, I suppose, but it's potent enough that it attracts those, and obviously both of those are great food for water snakes. Those are the exact sort of things they like to go after. Let me show you what I've done. The afternoon before recording this, I set up two traps, one in an area where I thought there might be activity, and another where I had seen a snake recently.
I decided to bait them both with dog food and secure them to rocks and a post so that they wouldn't be carried away.
Okay, so I just came in. This trap was in the water right over here. Right down in there, I had one end facing down into the water and one end tilted up. And we caught a little guy. I thought he was dead at first, but he's not. He's definitely not dead. He's in there. So I'm just gonna grab a stick for manipulation here, just in case. I don't have my snake hook anymore, unfortunately. I don't know where it went to. But we caught a little guy. What's that on him? Did he musk himself? I think he might have musked himself. He's really trying to get out. I don't know what species this is. Is this a young northern banded water snake? I can't tell. I really can't. And yes, I'm aware I didn't really clasp this properly, but not gonna lie, I don't know how. So yeah, here's the first snake. Basically what I had was, here's the first trap. I had the rope wrapped under that and then wrapped around that to keep raccoons off and stuff. And then I had it in the water here, resting sort of diagonally so that the top was half submerged and the bottom was completely submerged. And he was down under, well, I sort of wedged it between a rock and that stick you can sort of see. And he was down underwater there, completely submerged. And I thought he was dead. I thought he didn't find the air pocket and died, unfortunately, down there. But no, he was just being aquatic, I guess. And he popped right up when I started pulling on the cage. So he was, yeah, still alive and active. He's chilling in there. And here's my first draw. I have 3, but only set up 2. The first one's right over here. And it is devoid of life. I didn't catch anything with this one, which is a shame, but it sort of makes sense. It's in a more, I didn't have it quite as submerged, and it's in a more populated area, as in populated by humans. So, and over there, we actually had snake sighting not too long ago, which means that there's got to be some sort of a hotspot going on. So, yeah. I'm very thrilled with that. I'm pretty thrilled, pretty excited, very happy with this. I really was not expecting to catch anything, period. But here we are. So let me just check on him. Yeah, he's chilling in there. Again, not entirely sure what species this is, but he's in there. I'm gonna go ahead and move this guy further away from the water, just so we can get a better handle on everything. So I think, yeah. So it's a. You can get down low with me if you want to get closer to it, but it's a. I don't know if it's a juvenile or not, but I'm thinking it's either a crayfish snake or a queen snake. They're very similar species, and it's hard to tell which one it actually is. But it might just immediately start running. It might be a little bit much to contain, but we'll see how this goes. Oh, it looks like it has a wound on it.
It does.
Is that its? That's its anal scale. I'm not sure what that is, but here you go. You can get a decent view of it all wrapped up in there. That might be from stress, but I'm not entirely sure what.
Did they bleed from stress?
No, but I'm not entirely sure what would have caused that sort of injury.
And I presume by the head shape that these are not venomous.
No, this is not a venomous snake.
There he is in all his glory. He or she.
Yeah, I'm not sure. So these are pretty, either way, these are pretty small snakes. Oh, just struck at nothing. These are pretty small snakes. They don't tend to get all that large, and their main diet is crawfish. So I'm not really sure if this is a queen snake or a crawfish snake or a crayfish snake, but I lean towards queen snake, or crayfish snake, because they're less picky about what they eat. Queen snakes only eat juvenile crayfish, from what I've heard, whereas assuming this guy is a crayfish snake, it will eat adults and juveniles, but it is pretty small, so I'm not entirely sure. But yeah, so I'm glad this trap worked. I think we're gonna, oh yeah. Yeah, he still did not chill out. Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, buddy. You're alright. I think we're just gonna return him since he does seem to be a little bit injured. But yeah, here you go. Probably a crayfish snake.
Let me get a close view.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you can see his wound.
I don't know what that's quite about, but there you go. Chilling out. Alright, come back. So yeah, I think he does have a ventral line, and I think that's more consistent with crawfish snake, crayfish snake, but I'm not entirely sure. So yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
That's a pretty snake. Yeah, it's got a bronze line. I'm not entirely sure which species this is, but so this one's got keeled scales, which means it has a line in the middle of each scale. And what that does for these Midwestern snakes is a lot of Midwestern snakes have that trait. And what it's good for is it helps them gain traction on loose sediment. This guy's a colubrid, which is the main family of non-venomous snakes here in the Midwest. They include like corn snakes, king snakes, and stuff. So this guy's completely non-venomous. He's not in any way going to hurt you if he bites you. He's not. He only eats crustaceans for the most part, crustaceans and small fish, sometimes amphibians. So there's really no way, like most snakes, there's really no way he could do any damage to you. And most will pinch you. These gloves aren't really necessary, but because he was so hyper, and as you can see, he did strike me several times, I felt like it was a necessary precaution. So, yeah. Very pretty snake. There we go. So you can see the pattern on him. You can see the keeled scales there. There we go. Yeah, you can see the keeled scales. He has sort of that middle stripe, and then he doesn't have any striping on his underbody. I'm not sure if that's consistent with crayfish or queen snake. I'm pretty sure the prolapsing thing is not going to be a big deal, but it's hard to tell. So we'll go ahead and release him. So I caught him right back around here, so I'm going to do just quickly put him back in the water so we can go back to his natural habitat. There you go. Keep recording while he swims away. You can see him. Bloop. Yeah, isn't that pretty? There he goes. So, I cannot get into the house today to get more dog food bait. But since this was successful, I'll go ahead and give all the wildlife there a breather. I'm gonna leave that one trap out there with the same bait in it. That bait's probably no longer good, but probably for one more day, I'll just leave it out there and see what happens. I'll be back tomorrow to rebait this trap and to rebait that trap and check it. So yeah, and I do have a third trap, but I don't have a good way of securing it closed because I only have 2 twist ties. And I don't have twine for it because I haven't bought more, or bungee cord or whatever, which would probably be more effective. But yeah, so that's that. So hopefully this will end up being a little bit of a series type thing. Think Save the Squirrels initiative type thing, except we're not saving them, we're just imprisoning them for science. But I'd like to do more of these. I'll keep a daily update. I might not post daily videos, but if I catch stuff, I'll keep you guys informed. I'll keep you guys informed regardless of how the trapping goes. But we'll see how it goes for this season. I'm very pleased. I did not expect to catch anything at all on this first day. But yeah, very happy with it. Very, very happy with it. Really was not expecting anything at all, especially not a snake on round 1. But hopefully, yeah, this becomes a little bit of a series. Yeah, I'd say that went really well. Thank you guys for watching. I know that I have not been uploading in the past maybe 2-3 weeks. I wanted to try to stick to a once-a-week schedule, but unfortunately that has not worked out just because of homeschooling and you know, the whole COVID stuff, whole COVID things. I have to be wrapping up my schoolwork for the end of this quarter so I can, you know, progress. But it's going all right. I don't have too much school left, so hopefully I'll be able to get back to regular video production, and after our state opens up a little bit, hopefully I'll be able to start producing more videos like I want to do, more car stuff. So that'll also be coming. I have another list video in the works that I've been working on, but I just have not had time to edit it and finish up the script for that. And then I have another video about the Subaru coming out eventually, but I want a different piece of gear for it because there's a particular shot I want to get, and I want Nick and some of my friends to help me film for that one because I want to get some shots that I'd need a second car for. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I thought it was pretty cool. Should be more. Apologize for the last and the break, a little bit of a break, the lack of content. But I hope you guys enjoyed what you saw. I hope you guys don't mind. Thank you to all my new subscribers who have joined in the past few weeks. Thank you very much. It's an honor to have you here. I hope you guys are enjoying what you see. Also, I assume that not many of you who happen to be unsubscribed will be watching this video, but something like 83% of my viewership is unsubscribed. And if you happen to be watching this video, if you're one of those people who is watching and unsubscribed, then I think you should consider subscribing if you enjoy what you see and you want to see more of it. I will have more car content coming out soon, so don't worry about that. But I just figured I'd do a little bit of an update video, but I didn't want it to be super boring, so here's this. And I think I'm definitely going to be doing more stuff like this as well, FYI. So, hope you guys enjoyed. Hopefully I'll see you guys pretty soon. We'll see how stuff goes, but yeah. Alright. Thanks. Thanks for the view. Thanks for the watch. Talk to you guys later, my dudes.